Today's case is the opposite of what usually happens with lost media. We have a piece of media, but we know nothing about it. Let me play some of it for you. It's definitely sung in Japanese. It's 3 minutes, 22 seconds long. It's fully produced with even backing vocals. And it was first released on March 10th, 1985, when it debuted as part of the soundtrack for a pornographic anime. Other than that, we only know it by its unofficial title, Magic Lady.
Magic Lady.
Explaining where this song came from requires a quick pop culture history lesson. In Japan in the early 1980s, there were several pop culture phenomenons known colloquially as booms. Today's story comes about through a braiding of 3 of these booms. There was the OVA boom, which started in 1983 with Studio Pierrot's Dallos. This was when the anime industry began to realize just how lucrative it was to release original anime direct-to-video. The OVA format gave animators and manga artists a venue through which they could release anime that wouldn't fly on broadcast television but weren't quite big enough for a theatrical release. With this came the ero anime boom. Ero anime, or just adult anime, is the proper Japanese term for what we in the West call hentai. However, many of these titles, especially the earliest ones, contained young-looking characters due to another boom that had started in the late 1970s, the lolicon boom. This was a point in time when animators and manga artists popularized the use of cute girls in media. Anyone who looks into the earliest known OVAs is likely going to be taken aback by just how many of them were not only pornographic, but also catering to lolicons. At the ero anime boom's peak, many video distribution companies attempted to cash in on the phenomenon, which led to the release of many ero anime of varying quality. Some of these series ran their full course, while others barely surpassed an initial episode. There's a lot of stories to be told throughout this era of the industry, but we'll focus on just one series today, called Little Mermaid series. This one was made by Movic and Animate, under the name of All Products. It was comprised of 4 episodes released from March to November 1985. It was largely financed and distributed on home video by AE Planning, under the vanity label of Imagebox. AE was actually formed by Bandai 2 years earlier as the management wing for their OVA production division. Years later, AE would be renamed as Bandai Visual, so yes, Bandai technically made hentai. The 4 episodes of Little Mermaid series were called stages. There's Stage 1, Suashi no Hokago, Stage 2, Telepathist IQ Psycho, Stage 3, Punky Funky Baby, and Stage 4, Shining May. The song primarily appears in Stage 1. Suashi no Hokago, which translates to Barefoot After School, is a frankly bonkers 25-minute romp through the life of 14-year-old schoolgirl Miko. One night, she wishes on a star for her best friend and crush, Nami, to win her tennis game, which she does. Miko tries to paint a portrait of Nami in celebration, but Nami begins aggressively flirting with her, which gets the attention of a creepy teacher named Miss Shizuka. When Nami declines to walk home with Miko, Miko follows her from a distance, leading to her catching Nami and her tennis partner Yamaguchi boinking in a public park. Miko roams the streets alone until Miss Shizuka finds her and offers to drive her home, but various factors lead to her just assaulting Miko. Before we can ask any further questions, Magic Lady begins to play. It's hard to hear over the characters making various noises, but Magic Lady's lyrics describe a beautiful woman like someone out of a dream. After the song finishes, we are taken to the next day, when Miko tries to brag to Nami that she slept with an older woman, but Nami is insulted and leaves with Yamaguchi. Miss Shizuka, in the meantime, burns her house down.
I'm going to jail!
I just hope the cat's okay. Miko then attempts to sleep with Yamaguchi, but the attempt just makes her realize she doesn't like boys. The next day, Nami confronts Miko about what Yamaguchi told her, which makes Nami dump Yamaguchi and begin dating Miko. We get Magic Lady one more time as it triumphantly plays us to the credits, while the girls frolic among tropical fish. What fascinates me about Tsuwashi no Hokago is how lopsided it is as a creative work. It's technically a fully produced anime episode and has real industry voice actors and crew members working on it, but it can be generally described as chaotic. Its plot is largely lifted from a 1983 Nikatsu Pink film called Sera-Suited Yuri Lovers. Its main characters are even named Miwako and Naomi, a single syllable away from Miko and Nami. And entire plot points are identical to the ones in Tsuwashi. Magic Lady did feature one more time in the next Little Mermaid series episode, Telepathist IQ315, or Sa-i-ko, translating to the best, in Goroawase number code. Telepathist features numerous moments with fully produced background music, and while this episode is much more competently made than Tsuwashi, the music stands out as the best part of the entire anime. Magic Lady plays over the ending credits and then carries on through an advertisement for the rest of the Little Mermaid series. This, believe it or not, is the last time Magic Lady was ever played in full in any piece of media. I've talked a lot about the music in these first two stages, but the final Little Mermaid stage, Shining May, focuses on the plight of a debuting idol named Kano May. She even sings two fully produced songs which do sound similar to, but are not conclusively the same equipment used to make Magic Lady. What all three songs have in common are that their true singers are unknown. It's not clear if Miura Masako, the voice actor for May, sang the Shining May insert songs, but I would consider the singer unknown until we have definitive leads. Normally, we would check the credits of Little Mermaid series to see who produced the music, but there aren't any. None of the Little Mermaid episodes had credits for the music or sound production. The first 3 episodes each credit 4 names, while Shining May has 10 names, all of which are pseudonyms. For example, the screenwriter for Telepathist in Shining May is credited as Itsuki Furi, the kanji of which can also be read phonetically as Gokiburi. This means cockroach in Japanese. When the names aren't puns, they're just fake names. Each of these names has been run in Roman characters and Japanese alike, and the only thing these aliases have been credited for is Little Mermaid series. Largely none of these credits have been cracked, and I don't think they will be. The pseudonym that's the closest to reality is the character designer credited on Telepathist, Yamakawa Ayumi. This is a stand-in for Hattori Ayumi, a shoujo manga artist who also largely created Shining May. She also illustrated a short manga pilot for it, but if she was listed anywhere in its on-film credits, it's one of these other fake names. We do not have definitive confirmation on who the other creatives were. Hattori was identified through her art style, and likewise, the person credited for Tsuwashi's original concept, Murata Yoshito, has been artistically matched to Kishi Yoshiyuki. This concept credit means he would have been the one who first designed the characters and scenario, and designed the promotional art that was later used on the video packaging. But one look into Kishi's portfolio reveals just how many mainstream anime he worked on, including children's anime, which seems to be exactly why none of these creatives wanted to be formally credited. It was rare for early Eero anime to have real credits. The Cream Lemon episode, Pop Chaser, had real names in its credits due to it being one of the more mainstream acceptable and visually impressive episodes, and 1985's Pero Pero Candy had full staff and cast credits, which I theorize is because of the OVA's parodic nature. However, most Eero anime, at least until the very late 1980s, went without real attribution. This was a period well before the establishment of an Eero anime industry, and there weren't really any procedures in place for attribution. Plus, no matter the time period, working on adult materials while producing children's materials is a pretty dicey situation to be in. Could the song have been made just for Suashi? It is entirely possible. Its lyrics briefly reference tennis, with tennis being a major component of the plot for at least the first 5 minutes, but it also could have been an unreleased pop song cherry-picked by somebody in the Suashi production staff. Something like this happened with 1984's Sukeban Shoukai Cutie Lemon, which used a real song as its opening and closing theme, and it was later identified as 𝐻𝑒𝓃𝓃𝒶𝒾, a minor insert song from the TV series Nanako SOS. If I had to guess, someone from the Nanako SOS production team was involved in the creation of Cutie Lemon and snuck the song into it as a finishing touch. 𝐻𝑒𝓃𝓃𝒶𝒾 would later be replaced in the anime's subsequent re-releases, so either they got caught or they just wanted to be careful about incurring the wrath of Kokusai Film Company, or what was left of it. Oddly enough, Telepathist was dubbed into English in 1986 by American adult video company Excalibur Films. The dub retitles it as Search for Uranus, and most fascinatingly uses a different section of Magic Lady compared to the original Japanese VHS tape.
Don't leave me! Mark, please come back!
Whoa, whoa, Magic Lady, 見つめれば fall in love. 香り、どこ行くの？遥かな国から来たようなあの子の瞳見つめれば
This, to me, indicates that a full-length version without voices or sound effects existed at some point, and Excalibur was granted access to this version for their dub. Efforts were made to contact Excalibur Entertainment, as they're now known, some years ago, but they never responded for any comment. According to their secretary, their anime dubs were the most successful releases they ever made, and she was surprised that the company never made any others. I am left to assume Arthur King is no longer associated with Excalibur or has washed his hands of ero anime and does not wish to provide comment. Ultimately, it seems that we're not going to find a full version of Magic Lady here. We know for sure that Muvik, Animate, and Bandai are all still around, but whether or not they'll ever recognize their past work is entirely up in the air. In the years since, Muvik and Animate have been involved with plenty of adult anime, but I don't know how willing they would be to openly attach themselves to their 1985 work. It's highly unlikely that they will ever re-release Little Mermaid series ever again due to the series' quality and its pornographic nature. So again, there pops another lead. In the years since, none of the Little Mermaid stages have been properly remastered. The latest and best quality release of Little Mermaid series was a 1991 Laserdisc. After this, much like Excalibur Films, they have largely discarded the series. Stage 3, Punky Funky Baby, was even dropped from subsequent re-releases due to its overall quality and many instances of copyright infringement. Its soundtrack is so abysmal that one of my colleagues has speculated it could have been unfinished, implying the episode was rushed through production. We don't have any conclusive evidence for that aside from the final product itself, and I think that's very likely. Further re-releases for the other 3 stages were only made on video CD or low-resolution DVDs. While these are technically digital formats, they are lower quality and were edited in various ways either to the film or the runtime itself. In Telepathist's case, it cuts off, so you only get a couple seconds of the opening of Magic Lady before the program is over. Most curiously, Little Mermaid series was subject to derivative forms. In the late 1990s, an adult video distributor called 5 Ways edited the 3 stages to have moments of live-action pornography playing over top frozen moments of animation. It even uses censor beeps to cover bits of dialogue that no longer adhere to modern ero anime regulations, such as Miko saying her age.
私ミコ。お願い聞いてください。
In Suashi's case, for many years, this release was the only publicly accessible version of the episode. I think that's what led to me almost feeling bad for Magic Lady. For years, it's been a nice song buried in an anime that's been largely trapped within weathered magnetic tape or discount DVDs that can best describe as pornographic YouTube poops, remembered only by underground film buffs and Bishoujo fans. At this point, all we know about the song was that it was made before March 1985 when Suashi was released on VHS. It sounds professionally mastered, and could be performed by an industry voice actor or singer, though identifying her has proved extremely difficult due to the slight intonation she puts on while singing it. One of the few genuine leads I have is that it could be Koyama Mami, a voice actress and singer who was very popular at the time and even had her own original albums.
だからスイスイかまって遥かな国から来たような Remember me 繰り返す日々どこから悲しかった Magic lady 見つめれば fall in love Magic lady 思い出ゆえ秋風の一
However, we are literally playing this by ear, and we have no evidence for a potential singer one way or another. A few years ago, I tried reaching out to the greater lost media community to see if anyone knew of any sound-alikes to the singer of Magic Lady, but I largely got no replies. Could this song ever resurface in a full, clean studio version? I'm not sure. It's becoming more unlikely with each year as our leads continue to dwindle. The biggest issue with archiving adult media is how many of the creatives were never credited, but that could be because they did not want any mainstream association with the work. Whoever made the music cared a lot about it, but also didn't want to be named. While it would be nice to be able to credit the original artist behind the Little Mermaid series' music, and the singer of Magic Lady, one has to wonder if they even want to be associated with an Ero anime production at all. Hell, I'd love to hear studio versions of the other Shining May songs too, but Magic Lady feels trapped behind a veneer of magnetic tape hiss and obscene gasps. I guess all I want to find is who made it, so I can say, I really like that. I appreciate your hard work. I created a full-length reassembly of Magic Lady that you can listen to freely, and hopefully it gives you an idea of just what captivates me about this little song. The link will be in the description below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again on Skyview Video.